mind and body are a supercomputer, and people are woefully asleep to this. Like, check this out. Look around the room right now. 90% of what you see, you did not see with your eyes. Your brain actually made that picture for you.
When you walk up to a door and you open it, what you compulsively have to do to perceive is to make decisions. Thousands of decisions about the size of the room, the walls, the height, the objects in this room. 99% of what you see is not what comes in through the eyes.
Bro, 99% of what you see did not come through your eyes. So that clip came from this TED Talk, A Brain in a Supercomputer, which you should go watch. It's only like 16 minutes. But all I'm going to say is it's really fascinating because you have these ancient mystics that talk about that everything you perceive, everything is just a projection from that internal environment that you put onto the outside world. Most people are unaware that seeing is largely a creative act, a process that presents you with a version of reality rather than an accurate reproduction. Our eyes and brains simply do not capture and display the world as it really is. Bro, 8 billion different people on this planet, 8 billion different versions of what's going on. This article is super fascinating, coming from Stanford University, which is all about reality is constructed by your brain. You need to read it. But essentially, your brain uses a process called top-down processing because it's a computer, which involves filling in the gaps in raw sensory data based on memories, context, and expectation. When you realize that, things like this will start to make sense. The outer world is a reflection of the inner world. Other people's perception of you is a reflection of them. Your response to them is an awareness of you. But for real, your brain is a freaking computer. The human body is the greatest piece of technology ever created. There's one theory by Carl Princeton called predictive coding, and it suggests that the brain is constantly generating and updating predictions about sensory inputs, and it refines them to minimize errors and maximize perceptual stability. Meaning that your brain is constantly tweaking things so that your perceptions are as close to reality as possible. But it's not because you're seeing it. Your brain is projecting it.
Now, even at this stage, we can use the brain model to explore some fundamental questions about how the brain works. I'd like to share with you how we're addressing one theory. There are many theories. One theory, how the brain works. So this theory is that the brain builds a version of the universe and projects this version of the universe like a bubble all around us. The reason why the moon is huge on the horizon is simply because our perceptual bubble does not stretch out 380,000 kilometers. It runs out of space. And so what we do is we compare the buildings within our perceptual bubble and we make a decision. It's that big. And what that illustrates is that decisions are the key things that support our perceptual bubble. Without decisions, you cannot see, you cannot think, you cannot feel. And you may think that anesthetics work by sending you into some deep sleep or by blocking your receptors so that you don't feel pain. But in fact, most anesthetics don't work that way. What they do is they introduce a noise into the brain so that the neurons cannot understand each other. They're confused. So while you're trying to make up your mind what the doctor, the surgeon is doing while he's hacking away at your body, he's long gone. He's at home having tea. So when you walk up to a door and you open it, what you compulsively have to do to perceive is to make decisions. Thousands of decisions about the size of the room, the walls, the height, the objects in this room. 99% of what you see is not what comes in through the eyes. It is what you infer about that room. So I can say with some certainty, I think, therefore I am.
Are we in a simulation, and are you one of the projectors of